Have you ever wanted to ride a roller coaster in your living room? Well, on today's Annual Pass, you'll find out how. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of Annual Pass. This is the podcast where we talk about all things theme parks, rides, shows, attractions, you name it. If it's in a theme park, we're going to talk about it. I'm your host, Jack Pattillo, and of course, joining me as always is my lovely and talented, beautiful co-host, Geoff Ramsey. Hi, Jeffrey.
Woo! Jack, that was close. I took a big bite of Eggo right as you said start, Eggo waffle, and then that's not product placement, by the way. That's just what I was eating. Oh, yeah. And I was afraid I was trying furiously to chew it before it was my turn to talk. And I swallowed as soon as you said my name.
Eating it as quick as possible. Awesome. Hi, everyone. Good to have you back. It's been a while since we recorded an Annual Pass. The last time we did an Annual Pass episode, Geoff, we were in Florida. We actually did one live on stage, and so this is our return back. And unfortunately, I got sick after coming back from Florida, so that's why we're recording from home right now. And so that's why if you're watching this on YouTube, youtube.com/Annual Pass, you can see my extra co-host, Cooper, who's just hanging out next to me. He anytime I start recording something, he decides that he needs to be a part of it as well. So if you hear meowing or the sound of a bell on a collar, that's him. But hey, make sure to subscribe to us over at youtube.com/Annual Pass and follow us on all the social media and stuff, Annual_Pass on Twitter and Instagram. And we are Annual Pass Pod over on TikTok, which we're going to have some TikTok stuff hitting very soon because while we were in Florida, Geoff, we shot so much stuff. And by we, I mean I and Ben shot so much
that's
stuff.
two people counts as we. That seems
true.
Like it was factually correct.
I was just clarifying that if you're watching. Also, Dave Cobb joined us for a bit too. So
that was awesome.
That was a blast. But thank you everyone who came out for the live show. It was a really, really good time. Hopefully we're going to do more stuff like that in the future and do more live shows. Just playing to an audience is so much fun and so much fun. Such a good time. But I had a really good time in Florida, Geoff. I know you were only there for a brief amount of time. Did you enjoy your stint in Florida?
I did, dude. I was in and out. Unfortunately, I'd love to stick around and theme park with you. I hadn't been close to nausea in quite a while since London, so I was missing it. But unfortunately, I had to get home. That's
all right. We'll get you back out to Florida soon. But this time, we actually Ben and I went to some Disney parks. So we did Epcot. We got to go on the new Cosmic Rewind, the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Holy crap. We'll do an episode on that one very soon. But it's one of those things that if you're thinking about going on, it's open now. If you're thinking about riding it, go ride it without watching any spoilers, any behind the scenes, any ride throughs or anything, because you want to experience that one blind for the first time because, oh my gosh, what a good coaster. That one is absolutely fantastic. And I can't recommend it enough. So check that one out. Jeffrey, I think you would actually really enjoy that coaster, Geoff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm sure I would. I've got some ideas on what it would be like.
Well, it's not as intense as like a Velocicoaster. You don't flip upside down at all. It's like a faster coaster. It's kind of like a rock and roller coaster where it shoots you, but it's so smooth and with the way it turns and it's the music playing and the story. It's so cool. I described it. I think the best way to describe it is if Haunted Mansion and Rock and Roller Coaster had a baby while Space Mountain watched. All of that.
Why is Space Mountain watching? That sounds creepy.
It makes sense. I promise you, it makes sense. So check that one out. And it's a blast. And we have lots of video stuff up. I think we have my quick reaction to it after we got out of it that we'll post at some point too over on our YouTube channel. We're all working on a lot of new content over there, so that should be up very soon. And don't forget, next week BK is joining the cast of Annual Pass. That is right. BK is going to be coming in as the third voice of the podcast because Geoff, you're old and tired.
Well, look in the mirror, buddy.
That's true. I'm recovering from being sick right now, so I guess that makes sense. So hopefully next week, assuming that I'm 100% healthy, we'll be back in studio and recording there. But I'm very excited. BK, one of the first conversations I ever had with her in person was about theme parks, and when I brought up the idea of bringing her into the podcast, she was like, "That sounds awesome." So I'm excited to have her on, and we got some fun episodes planned with her and some cool stuff we're going to be doing. So stay tuned to that next week for a new episode. That'll be coming out very soon, anywhere you can get your podcast. But this week, Geoff, we're talking about a classic. This is one of my favorite old school, now defunct attractions, Back to the Future, The Ride.
You talk about this one a lot. and you lament its passing quite often, and so I'm excited to get my virtual ride through and see what it is I've been missing and what we'll continue to miss. I guess going forward in life.
Well, one good thing about this one is you can actually re-watch the ride film on a Back to the Future DVD, so that works out pretty well. They just released the whole thing. But yeah, this one is a classic attraction. Oh, it didn't open with Universal back in 1990, but it was very, very soon. It opened in 1991 in Universal Studios, Florida. May 2nd, 1991 in Universal, Florida. June 12th, 1993 in Hollywood. And then March 31st, 2001 in Japan. Back to the Future, the ride was a simulated ride located at the World Expo area of Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, the Upper Lot area of Universal Studios Hollywood and Universal City, and the San Francisco area of Universal Studios Japan and Osaka. Based on and inspired by the Back to the Future franchise, the ride is a mini sequel to the 1990s Back to the Future Part 3. The ride first opened on May 2nd, 91, Universal, Florida. Subsequent versions opened at Universal Studios Hollywood June 12th, 93, and Japan March 31st, 2001. Yeah, this thing, if you're walking, talking about Florida, I still don't know the Hollywood parks as well, but if you're talking about Florida, you walk into Universal Studios and you basically make your first right and follow it all the way down. It's now the Simpsons ride. So the Simpsons took it over. The whole area was taken over by the Simpsons. But you can still see.
I have trouble having trouble with that. Like, the Simpsons stuff is awesome.
Yeah. The Simpsons, when they first opened it, they just replaced Back to the Future, and then slowly over time kind of turned that whole area into Krusty Land. So like when they opened the Simpsons ride, they didn't have Moe's Tavern, they didn't have all the restaurants, they didn't have, Twirl and Hurl, I don't think. So now it's kind of become its own little mini land over there, and I like it a lot more. But it is still sad that, we lost Back to the Future. It was a great, great attraction. And you can actually, in Florida, you can see the train from Back to the Future Part 3. They have it set up, as well as a DeLorean you can get a photo with. We actually have a photo with that DeLorean that we took forever ago.
Were those from the ride, or were they just props that were there?
I think the train might be from the movie. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that may actually be the train from the movie.
Okay.
Because I don't know what else they would do with that. I mean, it's not really super reusable. The car, though, is a new one. So the actual car from the movie, I want to say it actually fell into pretty serious disrepair somewhere in California. And not too long ago, they actually, like a group of just prop builders and stuff, took the old car in and cleaned it up and renewed it and gave it back to Universal. So now it's been like refurnished and it's looking pretty solid. But as far as like the actual like cars in the ride, they were only like half cars. They weren't real. Like it's a sedan you're in, so it's not the DeLorean. It's it's like an 8-seater kind of vehicle, so it's not exactly the same ride, but it's still pretty cool though. This attraction was actually created by Intamin, one of their earlier attractions. Intamin, you know them, Jeff. You've ridden on quite a few Intamin attractions already, including a credit coaster out in California, Disney's California Adventure, Colossus at Thorpe Park. We rode that. That's the one that flips us over like 14 times or something, or 10 times.
Oh, yeah.
You love that one. You're a big fan of
that.
Also, Escape from Gringotts at Diagon Alley over in Universal.
That's a good ride.
Yeah. And also Velocicoaster.
That's also a ride. That is also a ride.
The ride story centered on a first-person adventure in pursuit of Biff Tannen through time. Spielberg was the executive producer of the film. He was also a creative consultant on this one as well. So he didn't have a whole lot to do with it, but he kind of that feels about right. That feels about right. The idea of a Back to the Future based ride was first discussed in a 1986 meeting between Steven Spielberg and MCA Planning and Development's Peter N. Alexander on the Universal Studios Hollywood backlot on the eve of the debut of the King Kong encounter scene for the park studio tour. Spielberg recalled how his friend George Lucas had just taken him for a ride on Lucas's Star Tours ride at Disneyland, telling Spielberg that Universal, quote, could never do a Star Tours. Spielberg requested that Alexander see what he could do with Back to the Future. So basically, this was a measuring match between Spielberg and Lucas.
I love that. That's awesome.
I love that Lucas like, you can't do that. And Spielberg said, watch me. Hold my adult beverage Watch me.
Hold my butter beer.
Yeah. So the one at Universal Studios Florida opened on May 2nd, 1991, costing $40 million. Foundation issues for the Universal Studios Hollywood attraction delayed its opening to June 12th, 1993, resulting in the total cost of being put at about $60 million. So that's $20
million foundation issue.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. They must have been like on sand or something. I'm not sure.
I feel like I could have done it for 14, 15 million max.
Yeah,
just hired me.
I've seen houses in my neighborhood have foundation issues. Just dig up the side, put a little jack in there, you'll be fine, right? That's how it works.
Yeah, you put like 2 or 3 little concrete slabs, and then you stick the jack on, and then you crank it up, and then you wedge something in there, and then you fill in the hole.
Exactly. So, and then now $20 million, please. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
As I said, I would do it for 14 max. Okay. Tremendous savings.
Yeah, see, they should have gone to you, and that would have been a lot easier.
Yeah, well.
Let's see here. The ride shut down in 2007, and the Hollywood location when they shut it down again. Universal's pretty good about this, except for the Monsters Cafe, where when they shut down something, they usually have like a big kind of like going away party. And the one in Hollywood when they shut it down, Bob Gale, who's the creator of Back to the Future, and Christopher Lloyd were there to kind of wish it goodbye and like celebrate its long life. So yeah, but I don't know about the one in Florida. I don't know if they just shut that one down kind of quietly or what, but the ride, so the crew of it, so the people who worked in this thing, it's kind of interesting actually. So it was directed by Douglas Trumbull, and it was written by Peyton Reed. Does that name sound familiar to you, Jeff?
Peyton Reed.
Peyton Reed.
No.
He has gone on to make some pretty big projects. Peyton Reed, his first big thing, his first movie he directed after working on this was Bring It On. So,
okay.
Yeah, so you're a big Kirsten Dunst fan, I know you are. So he went from that, and he's actually directed all of the Ant-Man movies. So he moved on, and he's done some bigger stuff. But this was like his first big Hollywood project, I guess, which is kind of cool.
Kirsten Dunst is the only celebrity I've stepped on and kicked on accident.
Oh, that's a whole other story for a different podcast. Yeah. The music was actually composed by Alan Silvestri, who was the guy who did the original Back to the Future music. So he composed some new stuff for this. So that is kind of cool. There's some original music. But outside of him, really no one from the original movies, Zemeckis and Bob Gale, like none of those guys are really involved with the creation of this attraction. Although I want to say after it was over, or like during the script phase, Bob Gale or Spielberg told Peyton Reed that they really nailed the voice of Doc Brown, because he's kind of the voice throughout the whole thing. Because really the whole attraction, it's Doc Brown and Biff Tannen, and you're chasing Biff Tannen through time. So Michael J. Fox isn't part of it, but he still sends his love and blessing, I'm sure. And the wild thing, I looked this up. Do you remember when Back to the Future 1 came out in 1985, right? So do you remember when Back to the Future 2 and 3 came out?
Let's see. Back to the Future 2, I want to say, I feel like we talked about this a while back, and now I'm trying to remember. 87?
Back to the Future Part 2 came out 1989.
89.
So it was 4 years after the original movie came out.
And then 3 came out very quickly after, right? Like 89, like 90.
Yeah, like Back to the Future Part 3. Because I remember watching Back to the Future Part 2 in theaters, and at the end of Back to the Future Part 2, it says to be concluded, and then they run a trailer for Back to the Future Part 3. So Back to the Future Part 2 came out in 1989, and Back to the Future Part 3, I want to say, came out, I'm on IMDb right now. Let's see, so that was 1989. Back to the Future I came out in 1990. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a very quick turnaround. So
sort of a Kill Bill 1 and 2 type thing.
Yeah, it's wild because the ride opened in 1991, and I thought for sure, like, it felt like the ride came out after 2 but before 3. But no, they'd all been out by this time, and Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3 had all been released. And I do got to say, I appreciate Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis, who have said in this time of nothing but remakes and redos and remasters, that no one will touch Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And you'll have to pry it from their cold, dead hands, is what they've said. So that makes me happy, because Back to the Future is such a well done film. And the idea of someone trying to remaster it or change it or make it new or do something different with it, I'm glad no one's touched it. And this is in Back to the Future, Back to the Future, the ride was sort of the semi-spirit sequel of Back to the Future Part 3 in some, land where Doc Brown has become kind of like well known and he's popular and people know about time travel. There is a Back to the Future, the musical, actually, which just started up last year in 2021 in England that I actually had the opportunity to go see. And there's elements like it's based on the first movie. I mean, very, very much based on the first movie, but they tweak and they change a couple of things and they allude to kind of like where it sits in the timeline, but they're not going to do a sequel. It's what it comes down to. They joke about it a little bit, but there's never going to be a Back to the Future Part 4 officially with the franchise, at least until Zemeckis and Bob Gale, and I'm assuming their entire family line all passes away because no one's giving that one up. So, yeah, and again, Back to the Future, the ride, it's Biff Tannen and Doc Brown. So Biff Tannen is Thomas F. Wilson, who's portrayed Biff Tannen across multiple timelines, and Christopher Lloyd, of course, is back as Doc Brown. So, Geoff, with that, are you ready to go with me on a ride back to the future? The ride?
Yeah, real. I am in 1 second, real fast. You mentioned, did you say Alan Silvestri composed the ride?
He composed the music for the ride.
Music for the ride. That's his name was familiar to me, so I looked him up. Talk about a resume.
Yeah.
Dude, he did like everything. Forrest Gump, Predator, Polar Express, all the Back to the Futures, Romancing the Stone, like basically every Tom Hanks movie, Ready Player One, a bunch of Avengers and Marvel stuff, Father of the Bride, dude,
it's like
Delta Force with
John
Chuck
Williams,
Norris.
It's like John Williams and Alan Silvestri were like the two big
everything.
Ones. And now it's like Michael Giacchino as well. Like he's kind of pops up in a lot of places.
And what's his name? From Oingo Boingo. Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman. I guess, was it James Horner? Is that right? Or is he a dinosaur expert? There's a couple others, but yeah,
I'm not sure. Anyway,
Silvestri is definitely one of the big ones. So
I'm super ready to ride Back to the Future, the ride.
All right, Geoff. Well, thankfully, as I said before, they've actually ripped video from the DVD of one of the Back to the Future movies, and so I've got it. I'm going to watch it live. I mean, I'm going to experience this in my brain and recount it to you. So you ready, Geoff?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, let's see if I can do this. Still kind of a sick throat. Here we go. Geoff!
Yes?
We're in Florida, Geoff. It's the mid-90s, Geoff.
My favorite 90s were the mid-90s. This is exciting.
It's good. It's good, Geoff. We're at Universal Studios, Florida, and we're going to go ride Back to the Future, the ride, Geoff.
I can't wait, Jack.
It's going to be so much fun. Okay, Geoff, let's walk. We got to walk back corner of the park. We're going to walk past the horror makeup show. We're going to walk past the animal actor stage shows. I love those shows. But now, Geoff, right in front of us, we have the Institute of Future Technology, Geoff, and it's the Back to the Future ride.
The IFT.
The IFT. All right, Geoff, let's go inside. Oh, look. Oh, it's Doc Brown, Geoff, and he's talking to us, and he's like, hey, I developed a new technology where we can send more people back to the future, and it's an 8-person car, and you're going to test it. And are you excited, Geoff?
I'm pretty excited.
Okay, good. Geoff, Biff's here. Somehow Biff escaped from 1955, and he's in this ride. He's trying to sneak around. Oh no, Geoff, he's caught Doc Brown. He's locked him in a cage, and he stole the DeLorean, Geoff.
Dude, talk about failing forward in life. Biff Tannen, man, he just keeps succeeding at failing.
Oh, no. Okay, so Doc is like, oh, no, what am I going to do? He's like, wait a minute. I can control this remotely. Everyone get in the ride vehicle, and we're going to go, and we're going to chase Doc in the DeLorean, and we're going to bump him back in time. So, Geoff, get in the DeLorean, okay?
I'm getting in.
All right.
The DeLorean SUV, apparently.
All right, Doc with the flux capacitor in front of us, and Doc says he has a thing where he can track him through time. So here we go. All right, Geoff, we're moving. Okay, he's like 88 miles per hour. Oh, Geoff, we're in the future, Geoff. We're flying around. Geoff, we're in the Hill Valley of 2015.
Wow, is this what the future looks like? This is crazy.
There's flying cars everywhere, and it's all neon and wild. We're flying through Hill Valley, and it's all bright and colorful and real shiny. Oh, look, Geoff, the clock tower. We're flying into the clock towers in front of us.
It's kind of like Hill Valley meets Blade Runner, Jack. What a future.
Oh, Geoff, the Texaco. Oh, Geoff, we smashed through the Texaco sign. There's still gas in the future. I guess they didn't figure that part out, but that's okay. Okay, Geoff, we're chasing Doc. Oh, we're chasing Biff. Okay, now Biff, he's going back to the future. Oh no, Geoff, it's the clock tower. Watch out. We gotta don't hit the clock tower. Oh, Geoff, we smashed through the clock tower. All right, Geoff. Oh, whoa, we're in prehistoric times now, Geoff. It's the Ice Age. It's so cold. Did he bring a sweater, Geoff?
I didn't.
Oh, you should have brought a sweater.
I'm wearing a t-shirt and swim trunks. This is very cold.
All right, there's ice everywhere. Uh-oh, Geoff, we've run out of gas. Oh, Geoff, we're low on power. We're falling. Oh, watch out. There's an ice flow. Oh, whoa. Okay, we're just in time before we hit the ice. Okay, now we're going backwards. Geoff, we went backwards through time. Usually we go forwards through time, but this time we went backwards through time. That while traveling backwards.
Wait, we're going backwards through time while going backwards?
Well, we were moving backwards, and then we hit 88 miles per hour in reverse. So backwards in time while Geoff, it's the lava. It's like we're in the period with lots of lava. It's bad. This is like
we're in the lava period. I read about that.
It's a prehistoric area. Geoff, it's a T-Rex.
What?
There's a T-Rex, Geoff. Be careful. No, he bit Biff's car, Geoff. He bit his car. He bit the DeLorean.
That's insane. Well, it looks like it's over for Biff.
No,
well.
You think that'll buff out? I don't know. Okay, we'll see. Oh, Geoff, the T-Rex is looking at us now. He's looking at us. Oh, Geoff. Oh, no, Geoff, we've been swallowed.
No.
Oh, God. Okay, the T-Rex spit us out. Okay, now, something's wrong with Biff's DeLorean. Geoff, we got to chase him. We're floating in a lava ravine. Oh, we got to chase Biff. We got to bump him. We got to bump him back through time, Geoff. So we're going to get
This feels incredibly dangerous, Jack.
If it's very, very hot, I don't know how the rubber tires are standing up to lava, but that's okay. All right,
thank God I'm wearing those swim trunks and that t-shirt.
We're moving at fast speed, Geoff. Okay, we're 88. We're gonna bump it. We bump Biff. Oh, okay. Whoa, we made it. We bump Biff. We're back at the Institute of Future Technology, and Biff's there as well. And he's like, "Thanks, Doc Brown, you butthead." And it's like, "Oh, that's rude," even though we helped him. But hey, we did it, Geoff. We survived it. We went through the future and then went back to the Cretaceous time, and now we're alive. We survive. Back to the Future, the ride.
Jack, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
What do you think the chances are we set off a series of cascading butterfly effects?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
That's rough.
There's going to be like fossils of DeLorean parts, and they're like, what's going on with that? It's, man, I really, really dig this attraction. I've got some fun facts about this thing. I got a lot of fun facts about this one.
Let's hear them.
So during the development of the ride, the designers traveled with foam models of the DeLorean to the Expo Center in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, where an OmniMax theater was the setting for trial runs of the ride's film. I love the idea of these guys just showing up with a big fake DeLorean and is like sitting inside a theater shaking it around, trying to like see if it actually worked out. So that's pretty cool. This is neat. So I haven't really seen this anywhere else, but Darlene Vogel. So she's an actress, and in the Institute of Future Technology, the IFT, she is like the woman who's kind of talking about what the IFT is and about Doc Brown and kind of the history of time travel and stuff. She's wearing like this bright pink, outfit and stuff. She was actually Spike in Back to the Future Part 2. She's one of Griff's thugs.
Yeah.
So she actually pops up in both. And I think other than, Biff and Doc, she just kind of quietly appears in the ride as well as the movie. So I don't know if that was like a kind of a fun reference or what.
That's really neat.
Yeah, so she's actually, in the movie and in the ride. So that's kind of cool. And I hope Darlene Vogel is doing well today. So Darlene Vogel, or if you're out there listening, hope you're doing well. Good on you. The Simpsons replaced the Back to the Future the ride. As you know, big crusty land, big like crusty statue on there. But in the pre-show of the Back to the Future the ride, they have like kind of like clips from old cartoons and stuff. And there's actually one video where it's Doc Brown selling the Institute of Future Technology to Krusty. So the idea is it's like Doc's there, and then somehow like he hits a lawyer or something. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to sell." What does he say? He says, "I'm gonna have to sell it to quote that mercenary clown." So it's actually referenced the selling of the attraction, which is kind of cool. The 2009 Back to the Future DVD includes all of the pre-show and ride footage on a bonus disc. So that's where I got the video. It's up on YouTube as well. So if you want to see all the early stuff, including all the sort of the history of Doc Brown as well, it's all in there. It's really, really neat stuff.
Man, I looked up Darlene Vogel so I could see the character Spike, see if I could, if it was what I remembered.
Yeah.
And I forgot the helmet they put Biff in Back to the Future 2. That is so goofy and so funny.
Yeah, Griff. He had a rough time. Man, Back to the Future Part 2. I remember, I remember everyone knew someone who had an actual hoverboard. You remember that? I was always thinking, like, oh, my cousin who lives in Montana, like, he's got an actual working hoverboard. And it's like, really? Okay. But not so. Yeah, looks like Darlene Vogel. She's still out there making stuff. She's been in some movies and she was in Castle for an episode, apparently.
Oh, that was a popular show.
She was in an episode of House. Oh, she's in Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, nice.
She was a voice.
So were we.
She was a voice in the first one, not the second one. So.
Oh, okay.
Very cool. Oh, she was in Boy Meets World. What? Okay. Sorry. I'm getting distracted by Darlene Vogel here. At the end of the ride, after so like as you're getting out of the ride, you're clearing out. Basically you leave and the new group comes in. If you hang around for a little bit longer, like you hear Power of Love is playing and whatnot, but also Doc starts warning. He says, quote, hurry up, get out before you meet yourself coming in. Or excuse me, Back in Time's playing. But I love that idea. Like Doc's like, no, you might meet yourself because like time travel and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't remember hearing that. Although Back to the Future creators Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale had no involvement with the ride, they were consulted as to whether they, quote, got Doc right. They responded with a yes. They've also commented that it's a great ride. In addition, references were made to a Zemeckis-Gale diagram and a Gale-Zemeckis coordinate. When the ride footage was made, computer animation was not widely used, so all the special effects, sets, and other things in the ride were actually very detailed miniature sets recorded in stop-motion filming. The miniature sets were large, with the replica 2015 buildings as much as half a grown man, and the T-Rex model being about 7 feet tall. The Institute of Future Technology that the riders crashed into at the end of the ride was actually of the model of the Florida version of the building. So that's kind of cool. So you actually smash into it. It's like a model of it. This kind of stuff, like, I highly recommend if you didn't ride the ride, watch one of the ride throughs or like one of the videos of it, because the models, the set, the town, like the Hill Valley in the future, that was all done just with models, and it looks beautiful, and it's so cool. And actually, one neat thing too, in the model or in Hill Valley in the future, the clock is actually working because they fixed it. So like in the actual like in the little like town square, whatever, you can see the clock tower, and it's not stuck at like 10:05 or whatever it was. It's actually properly going, which is kind of cool. This is a fun thing too I found. Fred Welker actually voiced the T-Rex in the ride. Do you know who Fred Welker is, Jeff?
That is a familiar name to me. I
can guarantee you've heard his voice before.
I don't know.
He was the voice of Fred in Scooby-Doo, as well as a ton of other voices, including Transformers. He was Garfield. He was Astro in the Jetsons. He did a ton of stuff, and they just got him to do the T-Rex for some reason. So it's kind of neat. And now there's one other neat thing. So at the end of the attraction, you save Biff and whatever, he's upset or whatever, and he yells at you. But there was a version of the ride where when Biff gets back to modern day, and you've saved him, he pops out of the vehicle, and there is a pipe above him that says manure, and it breaks and it covers him in manure. And of course, he goes, I hate manure, which is a recurring Biff thing. I don't know why that wasn't used in the outro of it or not, or why it wasn't used. But it exists out there. I know I've seen that clip somewhere. Like I remember back in the 90s watching, like, before DVDs were a thing, they used to have like behind the scenes of movies and shows and stuff on TV, like the Discovery Channel, like the Learning Channel. They would have all these cool like movie magic things. And I remember watching one on the Back to the Future ride. I remember seeing that clip. So that exists somewhere. So if you haven't seen it, check that out as well. And again, I don't know why they didn't cover him in manure. That seems like very much a Biff thing. So anyway, if you love Back to the Future like me, if you love the ride like me, or want to find out more about it, I highly recommend Theme Park History and Expedition Theme Park. Both have great documentaries on Back to the Future, the ride. Give you a ton more information on it, and also spread some love those guys' way. I love those guys. So check out those videos on YouTube as well. So Jeff, are you a big Expedition Theme Park fan?
I listen every week, every day or every week.
He's a super nice guy. He's got a great voice, and he's done tons of stuff. He's actually British too. He did a lot of stuff on Alton Towers and Thorpe Park, but now he lives over in Orlando. So I almost got to meet him when we were out there for the show, but our timing didn't work out right. But it seems like every single person I've met in the theme park vlogging history information industries has been fantastic. So it's really cool.
Also, you're out in Orlando about every 3 weeks, so you'll have an opportunity to meet him again very soon, I imagine.
I hope so, man. Like, I think I have no plans as of right now. I think the next time I'll be hitting out to Orlando will be probably close around Halloween Horror Nights. At least as of what I've scheduled right now. So we'll see. I think you and we have some plans for Halloween Horror Nights, Geoff, this year. That should be a lot of fun, and we're going back.
Very
to it,
excited.
Right?
Yeah. Very, very, very excited to go to Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah. This time we'll go. Maybe we'll go for 2 nights. So we can do all the houses one night, and then we can kind of get a cool atmosphere of it the other night.
I also want to go to Thorpe Park because apparently it's very scary at Halloween too.
I've heard that night. Yeah, Fright Night. I've also heard Not Scary Farm out in California is supposed to be really good as well. Like all of the horror stuff is great. I just love the how the whole theme park changes. Like you walk into Universal Studios during Halloween Horror Nights, and it feels like a whole different world. And I just love that. Like you can go during the day, and it looks like one thing, and then at night it's just radically different. And that is such a cool experience.
It's fun to watch that transformation happen from day to night too, as it just like flips.
It is funny because you see like the mannequins and stuff they have there, like just kind of wrapped up in tarps, where it's like, don't look at that right now. Then at night it all comes out. So, but anyway, Geoff, that's going to do it for my look at Back to the Future, the ride. Again, this one's great. I'm sad it's gone. But there was a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. If you work at the Simpsons ride, let me know if this is true. I've heard that they have a way to change out the Simpsons ride video with the Back to the Future video, and you can go ride it right now if you wanted to. Like they do it for like special events and stuff. But supposedly the ride vehicles are also set up to do the Back to the Future ride. So whether or not that's true, I don't know. But let me know in the comments if you have any information on that. And so, or email us annualpass@roosterteeth.com.
Yeah, that would be very cool if that were true.
That'd be cool. So maybe someday we'll get a chance to experience it again. But yeah, so that'll do it for my look at Back to the Future. Geoff, you feel like you learned anything new about Back to the Future?
I do. I looked up what time the clock tower froze because I was pretty sure you were wrong, and now I know the answer to that question. What
time does the clock tower freeze in 1955?
10:04 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
I believe I said 10:04.
You said 10:15.
No. Okay,
sure you did.
This is where Dennis or whoever's editing this audio goes back in time, and it's not stuck at like 10:05 or whatever it was. 10:05 or whatever it was. 10:05 or whatever. And then we go back and I say, "See, I told you I was right."
Or how about this? See, I told you I was right. There we go. We got coverage both ways.
We got both of them. There you go. But yeah, so this is the point now where we ask a question of you, the audience, that you guys will answer over in the comments over at roosterteeth.com. We're doing it a little differently. Have been in the last couple of weeks, where now we're doing live streams. So we actually just did one. If you're listening to this one live, we did one yesterday on June 8th, I believe. So Wednesday, June 8th. So the idea is about once a month, we're going to do a live stream where Geoff is working on a puzzle. I'm building some Lego stuff. And then we're going to have, hopefully BK is going to join us. And we're going to answer questions. And we're going to go through the questions I ask you guys. And we're going to pick our winners. And then we'll mail out a theme park map, an autographed theme park map too. So this week's question, around Back to the Future is, what historical figure would you like to ride a roller coaster with? That's right. If you could pick any historical figure in time, who would you want to ride a roller coaster with? Like, would you want to take Genghis Khan on Velocicoaster, or Gandhi on Forbidden Journey? What would you want to do, Geoff? Who would you want to take?
That's a great question, Jack. I feel like it's sprung on me. I'll be honest with you. The first person that popped into my head, I don't know why, but the very first person that popped into my head was Winston Churchill. So I'm going to go with him. Yeah,
I could see Winston Churchill like on Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah. I feel like he'd have some interesting insights.
Yeah, he'd be a big Aerosmith fan, I believe. So,
how about you, Jack?
Man, I would like to take like Einstein on an attraction, or like Tesla or someone who's big into science and like gravity and technology, or maybe who is that? Who's the Apple guy? Newton, like
Steve Jobs. Newton, that would be interesting.
Yeah,
Darwin.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be fun to like show like what gravity we figured out gravity. And now we're taking on rides. That'd be cool. But let us know in the comments over at roosterteeth.com what historical figure you would want to take on a roller coaster. And then during our live stream, probably in July, we'll go through and we'll pull down our favorite answers and talk to them, and we'll randomly pick someone, and we'll reach out to you and let you know that you've won a theme park map autograph by myself and Geoff and possibly BK as well. So that should be lots of fun. But that's going to do it for this week. Again, thank you everyone who listens to this show. Thank you everyone who came out to our show in Florida as well. We really, really enjoy doing this. Make sure to grab a shirt. I've got this awesome shirt, the Annual Pass Podcast shirt over at store.roosterteeth.com. All of that really helps this show out a lot. We have our Pride shirts as well, including the Annual Pass logo shirt with the rainbow. We've got the sort of stack shirt. It's based off a Cedar Point shirt. I really like that one a lot. And also a cute little like tower with a little rainbow on it. I like that one. So grab those over at store.roosterteeth.com. I'm going to go rest my voice now because I'm still recovering from being sick.
Of course.
So I'm going to go relax for a little bit longer. And it should be fun. Geoff, you enjoy yourself today?
I had a great time, Jack. I want you to go rest up and feel better. I hate that you're sick, and as obviously because today is Thursday, June 2nd. Go Celtics!
Hey, go Celtics! Game 1 of the NBA Finals. All right, everyone. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for listening and following us and all that stuff. We will see you next time for even more cool content over here on Annual Pass. And BK is joining us next week as well, so check her out and give her much love when she pops up on the podcast. So love you guys. Take care. See you next time.
Bye.